Hello everyone. In this video, we are going to discuss about the problematic part related to planning of working capital or estimation of working capital requirement. See here, planning of working capital or estimation of working capital requirement. So here, there are two methods adopted to estimate the working capital requirements. They are, the first one is estimation of components of working capital method, that is estimation of components of working capital method, and the second one is operating cycle method. See here, what is planning of working capital? So here nothing but we have to estimate the what is the amount of working capital is required for a particular level of activity. So to estimate to estimate the working capital requirement, here there are two methods. The first method is estimation of components of working capital method, and the second one is operating cycle method. See here, let us discuss the first one, that is estimation of components of working capital method. See, according to this method, estimation of working capital requirement includes 4 steps. According to this method, estimation of working capital requirement includes 4 steps. The first one is estimation of current assets. So here, estimation of current assets. So we have to estimate what is the amount of current assets. And the second one is estimation of current liabilities. So here, already here, what is this method? This method is estimation of components of working capital. So what are the components of working capital? Here there are 2 types of components of working capital, that is current assets and current liabilities. So in step 1, we will estimate what are the current assets. In step 2, we will estimate what is the amount of current liabilities. So coming to the third step, calculation of net working capital. So we will calculate net working capital in step 3. So what is the formula to calculate net working capital? Net working capital is equals to current assets minus current liabilities. So current assets no nunchi manam em chestam, current liabilities deduct cheste, then we will get net working capital. And fourth step is add contingency fund or reserve to net working capital if any to get required working capital. So we will add any contingency fund or reserve fund to the net working capital if any. ఏదైనా కాంటింజెన్సీ ఆర్ రిజర్వ్ ఫండ్ ఏమైనా ప్రాబ్లంలో ఇచ్చినట్టయితే ఆ కాంటింజెన్సీ ఫండ్ని లేదా రిజర్వ్ ఫండ్ని ఏం చేస్తామంటే ఈ నెట్ వర్కింగ్ క్యాపిటల్కి యాడ్ చేస్తాం. సో యాడ్ చేసి ఏమొస్తుందంటే దెన్ వీ విల్ గెట్ required working capital. So to get required working capital, here the fourth step is we have to add contingency fund or reserve fund to the net working capital if any, ఏదైనా ఉన్నట్లయితే. Okay, so this is the procedure for the estimation of requirement of working capital according to the estimation of components of working capital method. This is the pro forma of estimation of requirement of working capital. You see here the pro forma is consisting of estimation of requirement of working capital for the level of activity of dash dash units. We are going to estimate the working capital requirement for a particular level of activity. See here, there are 2 columns, particular and amount rupees. Here the first one, raw materials. See here, under estimation of current assets, here the step 1 is estimation of current assets, step 2 is estimation of current liabilities, and step 3 is net working capital calculation, and step 4 is add contingency fund or reserve. See here, under estimation of current assets, see there is a specific format is there. Under current assets, we are going to calculate what is the value of these 5 elements, that is raw material, and the second one is work in process, and third one is finished goods, fourth one debtors, and fifth one minimum cash balance. See, if you add all these things, then we will get total of current assets. Okay, so raw materials, next work in process. See, under work in process, again there are three sub elements are there. The first one is raw materials, second one labor, and third one overheads. Okay, after work in process, the third element is finished goods, and the fourth element is calculation of debtors, and the fifth element is minimum cash balance, which will be provided in the problem itself. So here this is total of current assets. And step B, estimation of current liabilities. See here, there are two elements are there in current liabilities. One is creditors and the second one is outstanding expenses. In outstanding expenses, there are two sub elements are there. One is wages and the second one is overheads. So if you add creditors and outstanding expenses, then we will get total of current liabilities. And next C, net working capital. So net working capital means A minus B. Here what is A? A is estimation of current assets. What is B? Estimation of current liabilities. So that is net working capital is equals to current assets minus current liabilities. Then we will get net working capital. See here D, add contingency fund or reserve. So in the given problem, if the percentage of reserve or contingency fund is given, we have to calculate this percentage on net working capital to get the what is the amount should be kept as a reserve. So if you add net working capital and contingency fund, then we will get requirement of working capital. Okay, so add contingency fund and net working capital, then we will get what is the amount of requirement of working capital. See here, calculation of current assets. See, under current assets, there are different types of elements are there. Raw material, work in process, overheads, finished goods, and debtors. Now, we'll discuss one by one how to calculate what amount of raw materials. See here, raw materials is equals to budgeted production in units into raw material cost per unit into average holding period. See here, the budgeted production will be given in the problem, raw material cost per unit also will be given in the problem, and average holding period of raw materials will be given in the problem. So what is average holding period? See here, average holding period is nothing but raw materials should be kept in stock, or the raw materials should be kept in godown for the further processes. So here the time will be given. And second one, work in process. In work in process, there are three elements, that is raw material, labor, and overheads. So first, raw material, same procedure, budgeted production in units into raw material cost per unit into average holding period of work in process goods. Average holding period of work in process good. And third one, next one, labor, budgeted production in units into labor cost per unit into average holding period of work in process. Overheads, budgeted production in units into overhead cost per unit into average holding period of work in process. See here, in the calculation of work in, what is work in process? Work in process means it is the semi-finished product. That is, it is not a raw material and it is not a finished product. It is intermediate good between raw material and finished product. So here intermediate means here half finished, or some part of production is completed and the remaining part of production yet to be complete. So here that is why the reason in the calculation of working capital requirement, see here the raw material cost will be taken as full. See here, full raw material cost will be taken while we are calculating work in process. But coming to the labor and overheads cost, here the percentage of work completion, here the labor cost and overhead cost will be taken, the percentage of work completion will be taken for labor and overheads, because work in process means here half finished product. Next, coming to finished goods, here budgeted production in units into total cost per unit into average holding period. See here, total cost will be taken here. See, finished product means here the total cost will be taken. So total cost, which includes raw material cost, labor cost and overhead cost, and average holding period. See here the average holding period of finished products in stock. See next, debtors. Here net credit sales in units into total cost per unit into credit period allowed to customers. See here net credit sales into total cost per unit into credit period allowed to customers. See here, instead of budgeted production, here we will take net credit sales. So what is debtors actually? Debtors will arise in case of credit sales. So here will be taken only credit sales. Here credit sales into total cost per unit. So here we will not take selling price per unit. Here sales price per unit will not be taken. Only total cost will be taken. Next, credit period allowed to customers. So what is the period which is allowed by the firm to their customers as a credit period? So here credit period allowed to their customers. See here profits are ignored. So we are taking here only total cost instead of selling price. Why? Because here now we are calculating what is the requirement of working capital. But here the sales will be realized in future course of action. See here, that is why the reason the income is going to be generated in future. But we need the net working capital for the present conditions or for the present situations. So that is why the reason here the profits are generated in future. So that's why in the calculation of working capital requirement, profits are purely ignored. And next, coming to calculation of current liabilities. See here creditors outstanding expenses. See creditors budgeted production in units into raw material cost per unit into average holding period. Okay. Say next, wages budgeted production in units into labor cost per unit into here time lag in payment of wages. So what is the delay in payment of wages? And here labor cost per unit, and here budgeted production in units. Similarly, overheads is equals to budgeted production in units into overhead cost per unit into time lag in payment of overheads. So here the delay in payment of overheads. So next, third step, that is net working capital. So here the formula for the net working capital is current assets minus current liabilities. And the last step, that is contingency reserve fund. How to calculate it? See here, in the third step we will get net working capital. So net working capital multiplied, that is into percentage of reserve. So here what is the percentage of reserve will be given in the problem, divided by 100. Then we will get what is the amount of contingency reserve fund. This is the entire procedure for the calculation part of working capital requirement. In the next video, we will discuss a numerical problem related to working capital requirement.